Artificial intelligence has undergone a significant transformation since its inception in the 1950s. From early rule based systems to today's powerful deep learning models, AI has grown more intelligent and responsive. However, most systems still share one thing in common: they wait for a command. Traditional AI is reactive, performing tasks when prompted, usually within narrow constraints. As a result, they struggle with multi step reasoning, context awareness, and autonomous decision making. This limitation is why a new paradigm is emerging: agentic AI. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving tech space. And I'm your host, Priya Dayalani. From managing full customer conversations to orchestrating backend processes, the promise of agentic AI is nothing short of revolutionary. Given the promise, the hype, and the enthusiasm around agentic AI are at an all time high. While game changing, enterprises still fail to fully understand the potential of agentic AI and expect it to manage most of the work, making people redundant eventually, especially in specific areas where the technology can be deployed. Joining us today is Mohar V, co founder of TECHVED Consulting, to help us understand why agentic AI matters in your everyday life and why this technology represents a significant development for all of us. Hi, Mohar, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Priya. Lovely to interact with you and look forward to have a good podcast with you.
Likewise, Mohar, it's a pleasure to have you on our podcast. And I think when we talk about agentic AI, we have been talking, discussing, conversing, debating a lot around agentic AI.
Absolutely.
I think in today's episode, we will unlock more such insights from your end. And before we dive deeper, let's start by telling our listeners and set the foundation right by helping our listeners understand more about TechWit Consulting. So, if you could just brief us about the company, its specialization, and anything else that you would like to share with our listeners.
Absolutely. So thank you very much for hosting me today and looking forward to have a great interaction with you and demystify not just about the agentic AI, the impact it creates for various businesses, sectors across geography, and what it is in store for your listeners and a business at large. So coming to TechWeed Consulting, we are a global digital transformation thought leader. We are helping enterprises modernize, scale, and compete in an increasingly digital world by using the technology which is future proof, future ready. So we bring powerful blend of UX excellence, strategic consulting, and advanced technologies, including artificial intelligence, automation, next gen engineering to solve business problem across market, across geography, and across form factor. And these are essentially solutions designed for scale, delivering consistent, high quality experiences while optimizing good user experience and accelerating innovation. So we have a proven track record of more than 2 decades plus working with Fortune 500 companies, helping across geographies, across form factor, across various segments of industries, creating meaningful impact for consumers and very high impact business impact for businesses and the brands that we work with. If I can go back in time, TechWith Consulting was established in 2007 with almost 2 decades of experience in innovation. We are today at the cutting edge of the technology, helping our customers. If you look at it in terms of our overall service offering, it could be divided into digital transformation, consulting, and strategy, customer experience and UX. So we were the pioneer of UX and CX in the industry and this part of the woods especially. Then we have not just looking at the strategy and design, translating those design back into the meaningful, impactful solutions and taking care of the entire analytics. So this technology and engineering services, adding those services we have are patented methodology, research and insight, data-driven innovations. We also take care of assurance and quality engineering, and not to forget, which is the main topic of the podcast today, innovative tech solutions. So there we take care of all the emerging tech products, frameworks, platforms. In today's day and age, AI/ML is obviously has come as the very, very innovative and impactful technology, how it's changing the landscape. That is something we are pioneering, along with that metaverse and the other new age solutions that are there. All that we do, essentially creating awesome impact, beautiful user experience for consumers, but most importantly, creating meaningful, number driven business impact for our customers and brands that we work with globally. So, this is pretty much about us in a nutshell.
Thank you for that wonderful overview, Mohar. And it's really, I'm really glad to hear how TechVed has evolved and, positioned itself within the industry. And, you've put it across pretty much clearly how you and the company are keen on helping your customers help some value-driven and measurable impact and helping them navigate this complex digital landscape using the next gen technologies. Building on that, I would love to shift the focus towards your role within the organization. Mohar, you're recognized as a tech visionary and a business strategist and believes in bridging the worlds of technology, design, and business, ensuring that every innovation drives measurable impact. So we would like to know more about you, Mohar. How has the journey been till date? And what exactly is your role at TechWid today?
Absolutely. So, as the co-founder and CEO for TECHVED Consulting, the buck stops with me. I'm responsible for strategic growth of the business. Since we are a consulting organization, it's very important for us to bridge the gap for the customer expectation. The brands and the customers that we work with globally across different segments, sectors, they have business problem, and we use our innovative platform solutions, problem solving approach to creating meaningful solutions for our customers, which can be measured in terms of number. So I'm responsible for strategic vision, business evangelizing, providing the strategy innovation. I personally get involved for a lot of boardroom discussions for our leading clients. Because today, if you see, not just for the topic of the podcast, which is there, almost with the digital adoption post pandemic has seen skyrocket growth. Every industry vertical is looking to leverage from the digital, but at the same time, they have humongous tasks. What should be prioritized? How do you take care of balance of digital adoption as well as the human intervention, which is going to be there? If you see, go back in time, just 2 years back, metaverse was a very, very big thing, but the customers were not too sure whether they should invest money over there. What is the kind of ROI, whether boards are going to be approving the budget and the spend they were looking for. Just around that time, AI was was knocking on the doors, and today AI has surpassed almost all the innovations which were talked about back then, a couple of years back. In this case, when you have DPDP compliance, the legislation changes, and the new age tech coming, how do you reshape? How do you adopt? Sometimes customers are not even aware where do they belong in the maturity curve. What is a good way to start? What is the best way to start? Where to start? Whether it's going to be for a task, for a particular business segment, a section. So these are multiple things, and that is where I personally get involved for giving vision and direction, not just for a solution approach, but most importantly in consulting to help our customers navigate through these various challenges and outcomes. So that's the role that I play. Not to forget, I have to look at client impact, market presence, and also being part of various industry forums to working with industry forums and governments for policy formation. You must have seen recently DPDP has come up. It's a big impact for the industry. Similarly, there are new legislations which are being formed by the by the current dispensation for accessibility, data compliance, privacy. So I'm helping shape up those legislations as well, which is beneficial for the country, beneficial for the industry, and most importantly, beneficial for consumer at large.
Wonderful, Mohar, and I'm really glad to understand how your role ties into the broader vision of the organization and how your contributions are shaping its trajectory. With that in mind, let's dive a bit deeper into the landscape you operate in. Now, we have seen AI write emails, draft reports, even generate designs. Impressive, right? However, at the end of the day, we are still the one executing the real work. So, what if AI could go go beyond suggestions and take real action for you. That's where Agentic AI comes into the play the game. Now, in fact, Gartner predicts that by 2026, 40% of enterprise applications will be integrated with task specific AI agents, up from less than 5% today. This massive leap signifies a clear shift. Businesses are moving from AI as a helper to AI as a true digital co worker, one that can understand your goals, reason through challenges, and execute tasks autonomously. So, why is agentic AI emerging as a critical priority for enterprises right now?
I think it's a great question. And this is something which commonly asked whenever I go and meet the client who are still thinking of adopting or early adopters, that what lies ahead and what they should go ahead. So typically, if you see, there is no industry, no vertical, whether you talk about a segment of society or even a commoner who is aloof or not aware or not using AI in one or the other form. But what is happening is, apart from using which is just as a tool, to using more extended version of AI, which could become not just helping you make decisions, can plan your workflows, can act autonomously. That is where the real shift is. And that is where we see a very, very big impact, which is going to shape up the way we work within the enterprises, or even if we operate in day-to-day scenarios, which are going to happen. In fact, it's already started happening. Some of the customers that you're working, we have seen while there was a little bit of resistance initially to begin with, the moment people have seen the ROI, the efficacy, efficiency of agentic AI implementations, the scale and the speed of change is very high. It's just a matter of time, function of time. Once people start seeing the results, they are able to implement. So as a companion, we have been using it for some time now, but as an agentic AI in enterprises, it's a reality today. It's no more something which is far off in the future, distant future. It's right here, right now, pretty much there. May not be across enterprise, may not be across all the functions, but in certain segments, certain role plays, it's already there. And we started working, and we have seen it across industries. So it's not a particular industry, but across industries. I'll talk about more those use cases, but there's a reality today which nobody can deny.
Definitely, and I think that makes a lot of sense. And what you really said highlights the shift we are witnessing, where I think they aren't experimenting with AI anymore, and they're actively rethinking how work gets done. And of course, that agentic AI brings both tremendous opportunity and also a fair bit of responsibility, considering how we can balance the automation and human judgment. And my next question is somewhere around that itself, because we are seeing across industries that AI agents are becoming more like colleagues, from customer support to software development. We see signs of what a human agent partnership can look like in practice. Now, for example, we have tools like Agent Force by Salesforce, where it tells us, gives a preview of what's to come, where humans and AI agents are working together, exchanging a lot of stuff, handing off tasks, and learning from each other at work. So, how do agentic systems collaborate with human workers, and what does this mean for workforce transformation?
Yeah. So before I come to this, I wanted to touch upon a little bit more about the kind of impact which is already happening, which we are implementing, and we have seen so many of the customers globally have started adopting. So I was talking about from as a companion to agentic AI implementation, which is not just for full automatic decision making, workflows, autonomous tasks. It gives a operational efficiency and automation as well. You have measurable value which is coming, cost optimization, efficiency, all those kind of things are there. Now, when this is there, say for example, where you have agents who are being supervised by human being, it's perfectly fine. Some of the places where we have seen the shift of human agent is getting replaced by complete agentic AI, that is where the big challenge is there. And this is where we see the collaboration, which is very, very important. So if you ask me honestly, from a technology point of view, there is a one scenario, but most importantly, apart from technology, there's a change management. This is very big tectonic shift which you're talking about needs to be dealt with. And that is a big sort of a task which need to be looked at. So let me give you a couple of examples. There are customers in real estate where we have automated the entire outbound call process using Agentic AI. This has essentially replaced the human bots. Now, what is happening is you're getting the best efficiency. Assume the best outbound caller is available to you 24 by 7, 365 days a year, doesn't ask for a raise, doesn't ask for a holiday, and doesn't fall sick, is available at your command, at your disposal, and you can just go ahead and get what a task. It does not require supervision either, right? So that's the kind of effect and the efficacy we are able to see. All you need is a supervision on top. So if you look at those kind of scenarios, the interaction with peers is hardly anything. There is only interaction with the supervisor to look at the dashboard. If there is any dead end which need to be reprogrammed, some other tweaking is required in terms of the response or answers, that could be provided through the training. So that's where the role which is going to be there. In fact, even in those scenarios, with the advent of AI, we are creating autonomous monitoring and interventions as well. Just imagine when you started with the layer one, we actually replaced common conventional monotonous tasks with agentic AI, and only the supervisor, who is the human supervisor supervising the task and doing the intervention. Comes the scenario in the more mature second phase where even the monitoring is happening autonomous by a agent who is a supervisor. Just imagine how there's a degree is increasing day by day. And then you can look at personalized engagement, which is again at scale. So this is what which is happening now. When you look at different sectors, different use cases, different scenarios, obviously there is no plain vanilla solution. It's not a blanket rule which works everywhere. It's a very consultative approach to who you are, what is the use case, what is the the task at hand, what is the automation that we are looking for. We have to bring in those solutions, and these are being implemented with the depending on the industry and segment. So for example, banking and financial services, I was talking about a real estate example. Similarly, banking and financial services, if you have core use cases which are KYC, onboarding of customers, video KYCs are there, normal KYC or video KYC. When you're looking for onboarding customers, whether it's for loan, for credit card, for CASA, any other bank account, loan underwriting processes, regulatory compliances, portfolio reshaping, AI-driven advisory, which is there, all these can be completely automated. No manual intervention is required. Only supervision from a human agent is required. Similarly, we have seen it in insurance where any onboarding for a claims underwriting, we are able to take care complete automation. In fact, recently we have gone live for one of the life insurance customer for underwriting process, which is completely automated using agentic AI. The workforce reduction is almost 30%. You do not need manual underwriting. The time to underwriting has been reduced significantly. The team members who are required to process, as I mentioned, 30% reduction. And this is happening 24 by 7. So you don't even need a manual underwriter to be available for underwriting process. No? So this is the advantage which is there. If I go to the general insurance company, there the reduction is as high as 65%. Because this you're talking about underwriting for bike insurance, car insurance, home, or any of these insurance. There are predefined rules, process there. Only the supervision is being done by the underwriting supervisor. Otherwise, the bot is taking care of complete this scenario. If I go to e-commerce, inventory forecasting, replenishment, pricing for agents, supply chain exception handling, marketing automation. We ourselves have implemented various agents. In fact, we have Sarah the agent, Lara the agent, which is already there. We have Vani. So there are various agents which are even within a consulting enterprise live today. So this is the reality which we're talking about. So when you do this kind of deep implementations, which has reshaped the landscape for the industry, reshaped the way we used to do or we used to operate in the past. It creates a lot of opportunity for collaboration. It also creates a big impact, big shift. It also creates some sort of ripples as well, if I may use the word. And that needs to be looked at in a very, very important manner. So it has to, collaborate in terms of human in the loop, as I mentioned about supervisor. If there is a agent which is a human agent which is completely replaced with agentic AI, then you'll have human in the loop as a supervisor. Even human in the loop can be replaced by AI supervisor, then it'll become maybe even lesser human in the loop. So that's going to be one. We are seeing, which is an early adoption in human in the loop, which is being there and which is pretty much there. Another thing which is going to be there is the human on the loop, which is some of the cases where agent is acting independently and there is a agent supervision which is being done by human on the loop, which is going to be taken care of. I gave you example of underwriting where human is in command. Whatever underwriting is processed by agent, the human agent is essentially approving that, because at this point in time business has not come to terms that agent will not just underwrite, agent will not just process, but it's going to take the decision as well and go ahead and give the final underwriting. So that is going to be human in command, which is there. There are scenarios which are going to be multi-agent plus human teams, contact center, call center scenarios. You have outbound calls, inbound call handling. All that is happening with a multi-agent and human team. So those are the scenario. As I mentioned, it is creating a big shift. We are no more looking for human agent and the agentic AI coming as the add-on, but you're looking for a radical shift. What all we can do with agentic AI, which can be done fully automated themselves, can be supervised by a human being, or can be supervised by agentic AI, and then maybe human in the loop or human on the loop could be there, to a scenario where how can I do it completely automated by agentic flow, where human is only going to be there for approval, nothing more than that, right? So that's the kind of thing is happening, whether it's exception handling, strategic decision making, ethical judgment. Sometimes it happens that there are false right or a false wrong scenarios, and that needs to be looked at by human being, and that is where ethical judgment and oversight need to be supervised by human beings. So that is going to be there.
Right, right.
So this is where the lot of areas where human and agent collaboration is going to be there, but
Definitely.
this is going to evolve as we move along.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that was an insightful explanation, Mohar, and I'm really glad to understand, how these agentic systems aren't just automating tasks, but actually reshaping how humans think, work, and make decisions. And I think your overall perspective really highlights how companies that embrace this co-creation model between humans and agentic systems will be the ones to unlock new levels of productivity and innovation. Let's build on that a bit and and talk about, I mean, something the other side of agentic AI. Now, it's as slowly and gradually companies are adopting these agentic systems, they are also cementing themselves as a cornerstone of the modern workplace. But that growth has also triggered a wave of confusion and misinformation. Uh,
Sure.
there's rumors about agentic AI capabilities, limitations, and risks, and it has spread like wildfire. Can it think? Will it replace humans? Are we destined to have a Skynet like threat in our future? Now, these misconceptions about agentic AI is creating a gap in understanding. Assumptions and reality aren't aligned. In turn, this gap has led to slow uptake and, often avoidance in adoption. So, if you could just, since we have a little time constraint, if you could help us understand and in briefly, shortly, that what are some risks or misconceptions enterprises often have when they explore agentic AI, and how do you think we can, navigate these misconception and ensure more scalable adoption of agentic AI?
Absolutely. So this is true for any new technology that we are looking for adoption, and especially technology as complex, as tectonic as agentic AI, and overall impact that it creates on the way you operate on human beings at large scale. Obviously, there are a lot of misconception and there are assumptions. The fundamental thing which is there is the uncontrolled or unsafe autonomy. So, for example, if you are giving, so let's face it, technology is for the human beings are not for the technology. That's very, very clear. Any technology which has come in the past, which is here today, or which is going to come in the future as well, it's for the benefit of the human beings and not the other way around, that we are there for the technology. That being said, we have to look at in terms of adoption that it is in a controlled manner so that we get the desired result. We are not leaving control in the hand of the technology. The control is in the hand of the humans. Technology is subservient to the human beings, is serving the purpose for the business, which it's supposed to do. So that is so one of the fear which enterprises feel is that it should not overtake human beings, and obviously the control lies with the human beings in the way you do the implementations. If you're still not sure about it, you can do a pilot, you can do a maturity mapping, you can do it in a very controlled manner for a particular segment, see the result for yourself, for you to touch and feel and see the kind of benefit it brings to you, to your customers, consumers. And then you can scale it up. So that's one thing which we need to look at. Another thing is not just there, but even in the larger footprint, the control should always be with the human beings. That's very, very important. You cannot just go ahead and let it go in a controlled manner. I gave you example about agents which are supervised by human beings. Underwriting example I gave you, where the approval is coming from the human being. So while you're taking all the help for the scale, efficiency, efficacy from the agents, leveraging from the technology, but end of the day, you are keeping the control with the human being. So that's one very important. Another risk which we have seen, which is a real risk, is incorrect reasoning or hallucinations. So there are guardrails, and that is a real problem. But problem is not so big, so much that overweights the kind of benefits. It's like when you have airlines, you have fantastic innovation in terms of reducing the time to travel from one place to another. Globally, you can travel in hours, right? But that does not mean that there are no accidents and there are no mishaps, but they are so far few and so lesser that you don't stop flying. You take care of the risk, mitigate the risk by having security measures and things like this. So is the case with hallucination or incorrect reasoning, where you take care of, there are RAG, which is a retrievable augmented generation. So context setting is there. You also look at domain specific training. And there are validation layers. Like human beings also, you have a maker checker. Similarly, you can do it with the AI as well. You don't need to necessarily depend on agent, whatever response is there, that is always 100% right. You can look at validation layers, which typically we have followed for human-based any process. There is a maker checker. You can have multiple agents, so that kind of another scenario. Or last but not least, you can also look at in terms of continuous monitoring dashboards. Another fundamental problem in security vulnerability which is there is about data leak. This holds true with or without AI. Today also, as we are living in a world which is completely digital, in a conventional scenario, we would have met in person, done the podcast. We're leveraging good technology even here for this podcast, right? We're doing it over technology. You're sitting in one place, I'm sitting in another place. Our other participants at some other place, and we're leveraging from technology to do this. So is the risk for data leak and security vulnerabilities here as well, AI. And since the impact is huge, the data at its disposal is humongous, we need to look at the security measures. So security measures could be in terms of LLMs, which are private, could be there in the enterprise environment. You can have very strict boundaries for data access. You can have complete, data leak prevention mechanism. You can have prompt injection filters. You can have encryption of the logs, all these security audit trails. You can have data access boundaries. So all these scenarios which are possible should be done. Today, if you are using any website or banks or financial institutions, they have mobile apps. They're using the technology to give the access of your bank at your doorstep 24/7, but there are guardrails in terms of your access, two-factor authentication, data which is encrypted. Whenever it's getting transmitted from your mobile device to the bank servers or on the cloud, it's all encrypted with 128-bit encryption and things like that. So these are the security measures which have been there for other technologies. You need to follow here as well. Here, the ask is even more because the impact and the spread is far wider, and hence that needs to be done. Similarly, the over reliance on LLM, which again is an issue, and that could be solved by documenting and optimizing the process, doing the process mining. So there are various scenario. Last but not least, if there is any misalignment with the business policies or compliance, then you need to look at your policies which are completely encoded in terms of agents reasoning framework. You have compliance guardrails, you have policy engines. All these things could be looked at completely. There are many more which I can talk about, but in the interest of time, I'll just pause for now so that we can discuss some more points as well.
Great, thank you for breaking that down so clearly, and that really puts things into perspective. And I think, we also need that cultural and organizational readiness a piece together, because technology alone isn't the challenge. It's the shift in mindset and governance that determines whether agentic AI becomes a strategic advantage or a complexity multiplier. I think agentic AI represents a new operating model, one where intelligent agent doesn't help us work faster, they work with us. And in this new world, the real question isn't whether you will adopt agentic AI, but how quickly you can integrate it responsibly, securely, and strategically. Well, thank you so much, Mohar, for taking out the time and effort to be on a podcast today and helping us understand that the future of agentic AI isn't about handing over the reins to fully autonomous systems of execution. It's about having an equal balance of human on the loop and human in the loop. And instead of embedding lightweight modular intelligence into workflows, we will have AI that augments agents rather than replacing them. For now, the real value lies in assistive, domain bounded AI that supports human agents with clearly defined boundaries. Thank you so much, Mohar, for your insights. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you very much for your time and opportunity. It was lovely interacting with you as well. Looking forward to interact with you in future as well. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, more likewise. So, this is for our listeners. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion around agentic AI and learned some new insights about this new vertical of artificial intelligence. Stay tuned for upcoming podcast, and you can view all our previous episodes on Spotify and other leading platforms. Thank you so much.